Hello everyone. My name is Kim Gi-hong, and my English name is Ignaz, and I go by Alfred too. In this video, good evening, good night, good afternoon, good morning, or around the world, good day around the world. In this video, I wanted to share this automatic, I guess, AI summarization, almost as if I have my private um, docent, Incredibism Docent. It's cool. I like how it's working. Let me just quickly scroll down my thesis about my philosophy, Incredibism in general. So, based on my Incredibism page, I think the academia, the publisher, have added this docent mechanism in their site. However, currently when I try to publish this podcast, it's somehow just something is going wrong. So I'll just record it as is in this manner. I also have the one more than three body system engagement thesis with my the personal AI summary. Let me first run the summary of my very important art movement, Incredibism. Have fun listening to it. Thank you.
Welcome back to another episode of In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, founder and CEO of academia.edu, and as always I'm here to explore fascinating, sometimes perplexing, always boundary-pushing research from academics around the globe. I'm neutral here, just sharing the insights in plain language so you can reflect and decide for yourself what to make of it. Today, I'm excited to dive into a paper called The Incredibism Thesis. It's authored by Gi-hong, also known as Ki-hong, and Alfred Gim, or Kim, and fair warning, this one's a wild ride. So, what is Incredibism? Why does it matter? And does it have any relevance for, us regular folks? At its core, the paper asks a heavy. They believe existing frameworks like classic abstraction or even postmodernism kinda hit walls when it comes to depicting the full messiness and recursive nature of human consciousness. But why does that matter, right? Well, think about it. If art and philosophy both shape how we see ourselves and the world, a new paradigm, Incredibism, could help us recognize unseen patterns in how we feel or remember, and perhaps even spark creativity in the way we live. Just to stress, I'm not endorsing this, I'm presenting it as they lay it out. So, let's break down the arguments and findings. Incredibism, the authors say, doesn't just want to create pretty pictures or shock for the sake of it. Instead, it tries to blend ontology. Big word just means the study of being, art, symbolism, memory, and even mathematics like fractals or non-Euclidean geometry. It's not about manually adding disciplines together, but about letting them blend so new forms and ideas emerge naturally, almost organically, in ways we haven't seen before. A core part is how Incredibism encodes emotions, memories, and ideas. Instead of displaying an emotion on canvas, it turns emotions into what the authors call multiplanar symbolic lattices. Okay, mouthful, but basically, they want to transform feelings and memories into new abstract forms, ones that force viewers to reconsider how, and even if, they're interpreting what they see. Artworks serve more like philosophical tools than objects for simple aesthetic appreciation. Their method involves recursive symbolism. A painting or virtual installation might look chaotic at first, but if you spend time, you'll find repeating motifs like spirals, clocks, or fractals, symbolizing concepts like the non-linearity of time or memory. The medium isn't limited either. It could be paint, code, immersive architecture, virtual reality, you name it. For the authors, the more the boundaries of art, math, tech, and philosophy blur, the closer we get to this experience called Incredibism. And there's something else. Incredibism goes into the metaverse. Yep, not just paintings in a gallery, but immersive virtual spaces where you become part of the experience instead of a passive viewer. You're like a co-thinker, someone whose interaction shapes the meaning of the work. Meaning isn't just handed to you. You kind of have to step into the art itself and let yourself be changed by it. I guess this is where I started wondering, do these experimental art experiences actually trickle down and affect the rest of us? I mean, I went to a digital art exhibit once and honestly I just felt confused, but maybe that was the point. Maybe being confused is a step towards seeing things from a new angle. Just a personal aside. Alright, let's not lose the thread. The big idea is that Incredibism doesn't provide easy answers. If anything, it takes pride in raising more questions. Is what you're seeing reality or a construction? Is memory a reliable record or just another shifting art form? The authors would say that's the point. Meaning is always emerging, never fixed, and each of us becomes not just an observer, but a participant in the making of meaning. Why should you care? Well, even if it sounds abstract, the authors are ultimately nudging us to look at how we interpret experience in everyday life, how our perceptions, emotions, and memories could be reconfigured or deepened by new kinds of artistic or philosophical encounters. Maybe this inspires a little more openness, or confusion, or both. Again, I'm just presenting their argument. To wrap up, Incredibism, according to Ki Hong and Alfred Kim, is less about pinning down truths and more about opening up possibilities, a kind of ongoing experiment in art, reality, and, well, being alive. That's it for today's deep dive. I hope you found something here that makes you pause, question, or just want to look at a painting a little differently. Thanks for listening to In Depth with Academia. Stay curious, stay open, and remember, research isn't absolute truth, but an invitation to explore new ways of seeing the world. Until next time.
So, here you go. I think the Academia CEO has a right path to lead his platform. And now let's listen to my another thesis. So it seems like, due to the fact that Incredibism City the Face is very governing system, the fact that this podcast's AI only learns a neutral thesis, it's keep on running errors right now. But let's still listen to a few words of the CEO, Academia CEO voice is explaining, summarizing it.
Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, CEO of Academia.edu, and today I've got a treat that's definitely in the Imagine the Future category, a paper by Ki Hong, also known as Ignaz Alfred Kim. The paper is called the Incredibism City Study, and wow, it's one of those projects that just asks, what happens if we literally rebuild every part of society? But before we get rolling, I gotta say, my job is to present the study as neutrally as possible.
Due to the fact my city has specific requirements and mathematical equations that leads to the, I guess, certain arguments or critiques, so it's just keep on running as a enabled or disabled. Next is my general question about the universe itself. During my observation and realization and experimentation through incredibism of what are us flow plus by linguistic practicality in architectural ways. I was able to question this very simple yet super uh, observation needed or calculation, more in-depth calculation needed. It's kind of a physics question and mathematical question. uh, let's see how the AI recognizes it and explains it to us.
Welcome to In Depth with Academia. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Richard Price, CEO of Academia IDU. And wow, today we're exploring a concept that genuinely stretches the imagination, three-body dynamics. But with twist, a wormhole enters the scene. I'll be walking you through a recent paper by Gihong Ignatz and Alfred Gim, also known as Ki-Hong Kim, founder of Incredibism. Just a reminder, everything I share comes directly from the paper itself. I'm not endorsing or criticizing here, just, presenting the ideas so we can all reflect and maybe be inspired or puzzled together. So here's the problem the paper tackles. What if, in the age-old conundrum of three celestial bodies in a gravitational dance, one of the players is a wormhole? If you've ever studied the three-body problem, you know it's, chaotic. It resists neat and tidy solutions. But add in a hypothetical wormhole, a shortcut through space and time, and the dynamics might spin into an entirely new dimension, literally and figuratively. Why is this significant? Well, our universe could, who knows, hide such objects, and understanding their influence might help us decode oddities in stellar motion, or even expand how we picture reality itself. Let's break down how the paper goes about this. First, the authors propose treating the wormhole as a proper gravitational object, not just a sci-fi gateway. If you assign it mass and embed it in the equations of motion, could it shape or even destabilize three-body orbits? The answer, according to their hypothesis, is yes, but predicting exactly what happens requires a hybrid, mixing Newtonian mechanics with the intricate machinery of relativity. That's physics speak for a lot of very tricky math. And speaking of math, the paper introduces something called the Incredibism sculpture equation. Sounds artsy, right? But it's got real teeth. It looks maybe complicated at first, but basically it mashes together ideas from physics, information theory, and even sculpture. No, seriously. The equation models stuff like gravitational fields around a wormhole, time-related decay, and even the uncertainty about what shape or path an object might take after passing through the wormhole. Okay, maybe picture it this way. Take a traditional three-body gravitational model, toss in a wormhole, and then describe the scene with not just force and motion, but also layers, memory, entropy, all things you might find in, say, a sculpture that changes form over time. Each element in the equation serves a role. Recursive geometry tracks the layers of influence. There's temporal decay to account for how things fade or shift. Sinusoidal distortion covers the chaos. And a Shannon entropy term logs how much information gets lost or scrambled by the wormhole's meddling. It's like if Escher and Einstein collaborated while thinking about galaxies. Now, how might a listener like you benefit from knowing this? Well, if you're curious about how ideas migrate between art and science, or if you ever wondered whether physics could learn from sculpture, this is a pretty interesting real-world crossover. The models here could, in theory, help folks simulate wild new types of orbits, the classic butterfly shape, spiral infalls, yo-yo motion, where a planet hops through a wormhole and pops out somewhere else. Honestly, the math could even power educational apps, or, who knows, inspire science fiction stories. As for actually verifying these ideas, Ki-Hong Kim suggests a few methods. Computer simulations using things like the Runge-Kutta method or the Einstein toolkit. They'd factor in those wormhole-induced jumps. Also, astronomers might look for actual stars with weird orbits, like the S2 star zipping around our galaxy's black hole, or check for anomalies in gravity, or gravitational waves that current models can't quite explain. Again, these are proposals, not conclusions. The authors don't claim any of this has been observed in the real world, which is, important to emphasise. One detail I found fascinating, though maybe a bit of a tangent, sometimes just thinking about time decay makes me imagine old vinyl records slowing down, with the music getting fuzzy and layered over itself. Memory, distortion. I suppose in a strange way physics and music sometimes rhyme. Anyway, back to the science. Big picture. Ki-Hong Kim's paper offers a fresh lens, an artistic one, to tackle a problem physicists have long struggled with. Is this the final word on wormhole-influenced three-body motion? Of course not. Academic research is never absolute, but it's a bridge, a wormhole, if you will, between intuition and mathematics. That's exciting to me, at least. So, what does this mean for you? At the very least, maybe it sparks a bit of curiosity. Next time you spot weird orbital art or hear about unexplained cosmic phenomena, you might think of the creative ways humans try to make sense of the universe. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Remember, these are ideas to explore and reflect on. No one's saying they're the gospel truth. Thanks for joining me on In Depth with Academia. Stay curious and see you next time.
Oh, well, so if this question, regard to this question is true or false, who cares? What's important is to just imagine and categorize and try to manage as best as I can to educate people how important to vision about our universe, galaxy, Earth, and world, dimensionality itself. Which leads to my second question about P equals MP. I think all solutions, easy solutions, difficult solutions, can all be equal out as in one function. But yes, just like the P equal to MP's question, I was just wondering about that dimensionality itself, the framework of the theoretical entropy, I guess, entropy. Yes, so I will continue on continuing on suggesting how to look at the patterns of it. Maybe there might not be a pattern, but who knows, because we have never observed it in 100%. So yes, so that's about it. I really like how this summarization AI is working. It's literally helping people to recognize the simple very 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 simple ways, almost as if reading a outline of my works. So I highly recommend anybody who is capable of exploring the world just like me, use academia.edu, post them, and share your thoughts and read others' thoughts too. I've been reading many people's thoughts related to the categories that I selected for my application, my ID, which are art, physics, and math, and so on. Thank you so much. So that's it for this video, and thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys on next video. Have a good day. Bye bye.